friends, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name's Jackie, and let's get started. For DIY number 1, I'm taking 3 of these little birdhouses from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to get them ready to paint. And I'm going to sand off any little splinters because sometimes they don't come very smooth, and so it's good to get the little finger sander or sandpaper and just sand off any little splinters or little edges that are not finished very well. Once I got that done, then I went in with some Waverly chalk paint in the color white, painted them. And so now all I'm going to do is take some of these really cute scrapbooking papers, these little pieces that I had left over from other projects. This one with the little trees, this one with the old-timey looking paper, and then the little gnomes. Super cute. And now I decided to remove the little perch piece because it's going to be difficult to put the scrapbooking paper on top with these little pieces. So I got rid of those and then sanded off any little edges that stick out. And got those nice and clean, nice and smooth. So now I'm taking just a blank piece of paper to make myself a little template, because I only have these little pieces left of the scrapbooking paper and I didn't want to waste it. So I'm just going to make the edges, kind of press them down to create where I need to cut. And so here my edges are nice and formed, and all I'm doing is snipping off the excess to create the shape that I need to fit inside the front. It fits perfectly, or just about. And so now all I got to do is trace this onto the backing of my pieces of scrapbooking paper. I just take a pen and do a quick trace. And these little birdhouses are going to be so cute. So I'm just making the little outline. And now all I have to do is cut them out. And I do this to all 3 of my little birdhouses. Same process with my little template. Now the little template did change a little bit with each birdhouse because not each birdhouse is created equal. I realized that. I didn't know that until I started doing the other 2. But yeah, they're a tiny little bit different, but not too much. So there you go. Look how cute. So I go ahead and cut them out for the rest. And I take some Mod Podge, just a matte Mod Podge. Is probably my favorite Mod Podge. And one of these chunky brushes from the Dollar Tree. I like these little brushes for the Mod Podge because the bristles are a little bit more sturdy, a little thicker. So I'll just do a nice coat of the Mod Podge, and then I'll place my little scrapbooking paper piece on top, allow it to dry well. And look, here is where I lost my footage. So now here I have to explain how I actually finished it up. So I ended up making the hole for the little heart, and I used my emery board that's nice and small to stick in there and remove any excess paper. And then I took these little mini trees that I happened to have from last year, and I added them to a couple of my little birdhouses. And I also took some of these wood rounds from Amazon. I'll link them in my description. And I added them to the base of the birdhouses. And then I also took some of these wood stems from the Dollar Tree. I had them from last year. I haven't seen them since. And I placed those inside my candle holder. These are those tall candle holders, the ones that people use for weddings. And I just used some E6000 and some hot glue to get them to stay. So I adhered everything with a combination of E6000 and hot glue. And that is it. Super cute little birdhouses. Well, they're birdhouses technically, but these are going to be like little cottagecore, little gnome houses. Super cute, like a little village. This is the beginning of the little village. But look how cute. And since these candle holders are varying in heights, then they look really cute. So here's the final look. And what do you guys think? Today I'm participating in the Minis Challenge with Christmas in July as the theme, and it is hosted by Crafted by Corie. And in this challenge we are to create 3 or more mini DIYs in the Christmas in July theme. So when you're done viewing my video, please head on over to my description box and follow the playlist with all the other participants and get lots of inspiration for Christmas in July. Okay, let's head on over to DIY number 2. For this DIY, I'm taking 2 of these little wooden houses from the Dollar Tree, and this was from an online order. And yes, this is how they arrived. What a mess. So I removed the twine off of it, and now with my scraper, I'm just removing any of the excess glue. And then I'll also go in with my little finger sander to remove any other residue that's on there until I get it to look like this. And then I was going to leave the gather on there, and I went in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color white, but then I didn't like the gather being on there, the little circle, so I went ahead and removed it with my wide paint scraper from the Dollar Tree and a hammer until it just popped off. And now I'm just going to take my finger sander again and sand all that off, and now went over back on it with a white paint, and I took another little piece of scrapbooking paper and I traced the little house form on it, and now I'm just snipping it to place it on my little house. Since I only had little pieces of these scrapbooking papers, I didn't want to waste too much of it. So now I'm going to go in with the same matte Mod Podge and the same type of little chunky brush with the white. They're like stronger or thicker bristles. Don't really know what they're made out of. Maybe it's some kind of a nylon or something. And so I'll just add my Mod Podge. Don't want to add too much. I just want to do like a thin layer, and I'll just keep brushing it until it's nice and even everywhere. And then I'll go ahead and place my little piece of scrapbooking paper on top, and I'll place that on there and allow that to dry. And then I'll go ahead and work on my second little house, because I had 2 of these little houses. And for my second little house, I removed the little heart that came on it, the twine and the heart, and I sanded it, same thing. And so now this one I'm not going to paint. I'm going to go straight in with my Mod Podge. And for this one, I had this tiny little piece of scrapbooking paper left. I mean, it's just tiny. It doesn't even fit the whole house. But I loved it because of the little gnomes, and I think it looks very cottagecore. So I'm going to snip off what I can't use. But I like that third little gnome so much that I cut him out a little bit more, and I just decided to place him on there. Because what's better than 2 gnomes? 3! So I'm just going to snip it off, and since it's all that same greenish color paper, it kind of disappears on there. Look at that. Super cute. So I'll do the same thing. Go in with my Mod Podge. This time I took a different brush, but it's the same kind of bristles, those kind of nylon bristles. Yeah, those are really good. I have found those are really good, because if you forget to wash them right away, the fact that they're nylon bristles, they clean up a little bit better than the regular paint bristles. The paint bristles are usually, you just have to toss them, they're ruined. Anyway, so here I'm placing my little scrapbooking paper piece on there, and on this one I'm going to also place the little gnome, the third gnome, on there in the center. And look at that, it just disappears. Look at that, so cute. Super cute. And I go ahead and reinforce all the sides, because since this is not going to cover the whole thing. And with all 3 of my DIYs, I finished them up on the same clip. And so here I lost some footage, so here I'm having to explain what I actually did. So here I took some burlap trim, this one here in the center, and I went in and placed some on the bottom and on the top where the scrapbooking paper ends. And I'm also adding some of these really cute little trees, 2 on each side, and then I cut one to make it a little shorter for the center. And then I added some of the jute twine that was on the little house to begin with as a bow. And for the second little house, I'm taking this gingham looking ribbon, I think it was from Dollar General, and I just put it around the top and made a bow. And then I had these little decor pieces, these little mini ornaments from Walmart from last year, and I just put one on there and I glued it on so it won't be swinging around. And that's it. Look how cute. What do you guys think? DIY number 3, I'm taking one of these cute little wooden trucks from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go in with some of this apple barrel paint in the color Flamingo Red and some of this pavement color for the wheels, and just like that. And I wanted to show you how I painted it to keep from getting the pavement color on the red. I just kind of placed some paper in between to not get it painted. And then I'm also taking my needle nose pliers and removing this little guy. I was going to leave him on there, but then I decided to remove him. And then with one jumbo craft stick, I'm cutting it up and I'm going to turn it into the little wagon portion of the truck. So basically I'm cutting it in half, cutting and snipping off the little rounded parts, but I end up using basically almost this whole craft stick just to make this little wagon portion. So I just cut that, and then I go ahead and cut it lengthwise as well, because I don't need it so thick. I need some thinner slats. And so I cut these up, and then I just start forming it with some hot glue, and I just do little piece of wood of the craft stick that I cut. I'm telling you, I used basically this whole craft stick just for this piece, for this wagon. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue and place one slat and do the same thing, and then do it the same thing on the other side. And then I do this for both sides and a little piece for the back. And that is it. Super cute. And now here I'm just gluing these little pieces onto the back of the truck. So right here, and then another little piece on the other side, and then a tiny little piece for the bed or the tailgate of the truck. Yeah. And that is it. Super cute. And now I'm just taking some of these little mini bottle brush trees, and I'm taking 3, and I'm just going to glue them to the bed of the truck. And look how cute. A Christmas truck has to have some trees. And then here's where I lost a little bit of footage, but it wasn't so much. It was just a little bit, and all I did here was add one of these little mini ornaments from Walmart, and I just stuck it in the bed of the truck like this, just to give it another cute little element of cuteness. And I just popped it in there like this. I didn't glue it or nothing, but look how cute. Super cute. But that's it, guys. What do you guys think? And here's the whole little village, the whole cute little Christmas cottagecore gnome little village. Super cute. What do you guys think? I think it's adorable. Well, I want to thank Corie over at Crafted by Corie for hosting this challenge. I really enjoyed participating in it and creating for it. And don't forget to go to my description box and watch the playlist. There's tons of inspiration there for Christmas in July and Christmas in December too. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. And then until my next video, stay healthy, safe, and strong, and have a great, great day. Bye-bye.